Odds are, if you're watching this video, you either have a Coyote or are thinking about getting one and are trying to determine what transmission to mate up to your engine. More than likely, your research for the Coyote engine has brought you to many different corners of the internet. But be sure to save my channel, subscribe, and message me if you have any questions about the Coyote, and I'll spill my beans the best I can. Today's Coyote engine topic will be about transmissions. Two types of transmissions, two routes to go, automatic or manual. If you're going the automatic route, I'll apologize up front due to my lack of knowledge. Head over to Power by the Hour. They're selling 10R80, 6R80 components, pbhperformance.com. I went to their website, gandered around a little bit, and it looks like they're selling complete transmissions. Which ones? I'm not too sure, so just head there and find out for yourself. If you are interested in manual transmissions, I'm your man, self-renowned, self-proclaimed transmission experts. And as you watch this video, at this moment in time, currently there are two options when it comes to manual transmissions for the Coyote. Actually, my bad. Let me take that back. That's incorrect information. You can buy yourself a Coyote combo on eBay or whatever that comes with the transmission that came in the vehicle, whether it be an automatic or a manual. In fact, the manual 6-speed that comes in a Mustang GT is the same manual that's in my Ford Ranger diesel. I mean, this 6-speed isn't necessarily a high-performance transmission. I just putt around in my truck here and there. After countless hours, late nights of internet binging, talking to transmission shops, even Tremec's helpline themselves, scouring the internet of all the different types of variations we can use, it's become apparent to me that the most straightforward aftermarket two manual transmissions are the TKO 600 5-speed and the T56 6-speed. But soon enough, there'll be a third option. We'll get to that here in a second. The 5-speed design has been around for some time now, and there's some nice things about this transmission. Weighs 100 pounds, 600 pound-feet capacity, so if your engine is creating 600 pound-feet of torque, it can handle it. You want to put it in a 65 Mustang, a little bit of modification needs to be done to the inside portion of the tunnel. The best aspect of this transmission is its small compact size enables you to get it into vehicles in smaller places. The worst detail is shifting in high RPMs. Its synchros aren't designed so if you were to shift it in, let's say, 6,000 RPMs, it just wouldn't go into gear. Granted, your engine could even produce 6,000 RPMs. There are transmission modification companies out there that can upgrade your transmission to handle the high RPMs, but hold your horses. Let's see if this third transmission has any desirable upgrades. Though a quick Google search lets you know that the shifting range of the TKO 600 is 6,200 RPMs, that is incorrect according to the experts at Tremec and the associated Tremec dealers. The second transmission option has some pros and cons, has some technological advances, weighs an extra 35 pounds, but can handle an extra 100 pounds of foot-pound, pound-feet of torque, twisting, shaft splitting movement. If clearance and space just wasn't an issue, then the T56 Six-Speed, it would be the clear winner. It's able to handle a lot of torque, a lot of horsepower, a lot of gears, I think 2 overdrives. It is what comes stock in the Mustang GT350. In all reality, this transmission would mate well with the GT500, but they've opted to put space-age technology in this vehicle. In fact, that's right, yours truly, I've already jumped the gun because of the increased RPM range, most important, RPM range of the 6-speed. And if it wasn't for some recent news, I would have kept with the decision to stay with the T56 6-speed because it is that badass of a transmission. It can handle that much horsepower. At the expense of my basically non-existent fabrication skills, I would have figured out a way to install it in my damn Mustang. This is why I ordered the bigger bell housing designed to fit the T56 to mate up onto the Coyote, just so I can start my Coyote on the engine stand. But now, I gotta pull a 180. All because Tremec didn't want to lose out on sales and let anybody know about their new upcoming transmission that may or may not be able to handle all the RPMs that the Coyote can produce. Thanks, Tremec. Let's get to the meat and potatoes, you freaking vegetarians. I have to mock up my engine and transmission in my 65 Mustang. Coyote needs to go inside. I need to make a decision on what type of transmission. Pronto! If I pick the 6-speed, I have to cut the tunnel. I have to open it up and fabricate a whole new tunnel just to fit it in my car, which is why the 5-speed is more desirable in that regard in the size department. Wouldn't it be nice if we had all the good aspects of the 6-speed RPM range, but in the package of the 5-speed? I am a self-proclaimed expert in all things mechanical, especially transmissions, I think, but I don't work for Tremec, and I don't know why they built this. Maybe they made this specially for me and my 65 Mustang Cobras, or other vehicles where you need to have smaller transmissions. I do know they made this for the aftermarket segment. Let me touch on why somebody like you or me would like to have this transmission, and then I'll go full in depth at the end of the video. It's smaller, it can handle 600 pound-feet of torque, which, by the way, if your Coyote is producing 600 pound-feet of torque, it is also producing 700 horsepower. Ask me how I know. Bottom line, those two reasons right there are why this transmission is so attractive. Small hand grenade size, able to handle 7,500 RPM plus. For the last year, I couldn't decide what transmission I wanted. I've been real indecisive, but they say everything happens for a reason. Right now, Tremec authorized dealers are taking pre-orders like it's a PlayStation or an Xbox. They're taking deposits. I know there are 2 places that are doing $500 deposits. I'm not sure about anywhere else. But if you want to get your slot in for your pre-order for your new TKX transmission, go to Tremec's website, look for their authorized dealer, give them a phone call, and more than likely they'll tell you it's roughly $500 to get the first batch of these. Speaking of the first batch, I think I'm going to pull the trigger. I'm not going to pre-order, but my car is ready. The underside, the floor pan, everything's ready to be mocked in this thing. So come February and March, depending on the availability of the new TKX, I'm going to order me this transmission and get some footage for you. Get some footage, mocking it into place, installing it, and letting you know the problems I have. It's wintertime right now, so I'm kind of sitting on my hands. But as soon as springtime and summertime rolls around, I'm going to have major projects. I talk a big game, though I have never installed a transmission in a vehicle before. I have done it vicariously through magazines I've read, just like I've made sweet love to swimsuit models in Sports Illustrated. But that's as far as my experience has gone. Let's cap this video off with some knowledge, some talking points. If you have a Coyote and you want to put the best transmission behind it, the T56 Six Speed is your best bet. If you're running into issues with size internally inside the car, the TKX might be your best bet at that point. If you have a Coyote, some of the vehicles you'd be transplanting it into is, who knows, Fox body, older Mustangs, ooh, even a Ranger, that'd be a good project. Crown Victoria, maybe a Miata, F100. So these are things you're gonna have to keep in mind, is knowing the dimensions of your vehicle. All those separate vehicles are all different. So having the option of this smaller 5-speed versus the gargantuan 6-speed is a blessing. In a nutshell, this is all the information I have about the 5-speed TKX. Be sure to watch the last portion of this video. It's just a B-roll of all of my upcoming projects. I hope you like it.